All right, here's your daily, sadly, but you need it. We all need it. It's the syrup of Ipecac we all need to be taking right now. Here's your daily fake news update in the midst of a national emergency. Sad we have to do this, but again, if you're not watching this show, you're getting tidal waves of garbage information from the media that even during a national emergency does not take a break from fake news. So what do we got today? Our latest entrant, great piece by the great Margot Cleveland at The Federalist, debunking another persistent myth we've been hearing in the media, who doesn't bother to fact check anything anymore. Be in the show notes, worth your time. Headline: Federalist, Joe Biden lies about coronavirus testing to make Trump look bad. At Sunday night's debate, Biden blatantly lied to the American public about the Trump administration's handling of coronavirus testing. What happened, ladies and gentlemen? Joe Biden at the debate repeated a false, patently false assertion, again, totally made up, fake news, that Donald Trump was offered at his administration. They were offered the testing kits they had available, and they were going to give them to us now, Biden proclaimed. The WHO, Joe. The WHO had them. And we refused it, Biden said. We didn't want to buy those WHO kits, the Democrat frontrunner claimed. So again, just putting out there, Biden, the now nominee who doesn't know when to leave the stage unless he's rescued by someone, apparently, at the end of a speech. Joe Biden, sorry, I can't get it. That video is just ridiculous. Biden has claimed, falsely, a claim, again, repeated by many in the media, that the World Health Organization offered the Trump administration testing kits early, and we turned them down. What a scandal. You saw the quote right there. It's in the Federalist piece. Well, right. Let's go to reality, which, of course, is never what the media tells you. So the misunderstanding was corrected, noting that it was not the WHO that did this, but actually a company in Germany that developed a COVID-19 test. Read, this individual further explained that the CDC was developing the test at the same time, and it had already been approved by the FDA, while the German test would need to go through the FDA approval process. Biden, however, ignored this reality and instead peddled another hoax to the public. But don't expect the mainstream media to point that out. Amen, Margot Cleveland, you are absolutely right. They will never point out this stuff. You're watching this show, you're getting it every day, and you are way ahead of the BS news. There was no WHO, World Health Organization test. That is false. There was a German test that was not approved by the FDA, that I'm hearing through multiple channels had a very high false positive rate. Meaning what? That the test was not entirely accurate and would tell you you had corona if you didn't. Too often to make it a useful test for our CDC. There was no WHO test. That is a myth, totally made up, perpetrated by Democrats and their hacks in the media. You say, what hacks in the media? Well, look at CNN, who, again, can never get out of its own way. CNN. Here are two headlines from CNN. Biden claimed the U.S. chose not to take coronavirus tests from the WHO. Wow, interesting headline. You may want to fact check that before you put that up. Down in the piece. Now, in the middle of this same piece, where they're reasserting Biden's hoax about the WHO test, this is hilarious, Joe. In the middle of the piece, they have a facts first section. In other words, they're fact checking it. So you think they'd say, well, this isn't true. Biden misspoke. No, that's not what it says. In the middle of the piece, it says facts first. Biden is correct. Wait, what? The U.S., along with other countries, chose not to take test kits from the WHO and instead decided to make their own. That is false. There was no WHO test. That is a false story. Of course, CNN cannot resist Trump fake news. They just can't. They love it. Now, that was CNN a few days ago. Here's CNN now after getting checked by actual fact checkers and shows like us and people like Margot Cleveland who actually do their homework. CNN Health headline: WHO and CDC never discussed providing international test kits to the U.S. Global Health Agency says. Oh, my God. Oh, it's tiring. It's exhausting. It is. It's exhausting. Every morning, I got to get up with this. Why am I mumbling? I'm like Mumbles from Dick Tracy. Because I can't. I just can't take it. You have these media idiots out there blatantly advancing Chinese propaganda. Don't you dare call the Chinese Wuhan coronavirus the Chinese Wuhan coronavirus because it's racist. It's racist? I said last night on Fox, calling a virus from China is racist. By the way, I didn't know China was racist. China's a country. China's a country, right? I'm a little confused about how calling a virus from China a China virus is racist.
Geographist.
Would probably be a more appropriate term if you were running a good call with the identity politics. The Media Matters people were confused about that, of course. They don't understand that. Now, Breitbart has a great piece up. Before I get to Breitbart, I have one last sponsor today. Let me get through that because I want to go through this list. I'm going to go through it quick. Breitbart, John Nolte, has a great compilation, because we've been covering them over the past few days, of the most damning fake news headlines. I'm going to motor through 7 or 8 of them quick, real fast, because I don't want you to forget how much misinformation the media people that told us Spygate was a hoax, it was real. Told us collusion was real, it was a hoax. Perpetrated all kinds of anti-Trump myths, the Deutsche Bank story, the WikiLeaks story, that Scaramucci story, all these stories are all hoaxes. The media's been on the wrong side of every major story from the beginning. The Ukraine hoax, the whistleblower hoax, the impeachment hoax, all of this stuff. And now we're supposed to believe them on the coronavirus while they continue to perpetrate misinformation.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.